My name's Bobby,
And I'm Sarah.
and welcome to BS with Bobby and Sarah.
This is episode 13. Lucky number.
And we are actually not staring into each other's beautiful faces today because BS today actually stands for broad sound waves. Broad like wide, not the pejorative for a woman.
Oh.
You know? Like,
oh,
hey,
like,
broad.
hey, broad? What's up, broad? Although,
Yeah.
I don't know if you hear that a little more often now.
I mean, I could bring it back if you want.
I don't know. For some reason, I feel like certain words are more popular in certain areas.
I mean, I think people start calling women worse pejoratives, if that's what you're saying. Broad has moved on to other B words.
Yes, it has.
But
Yeah.
The reason BS stands for broad sound waves is because we are now permanently 1,000 miles apart.
We are. Did you do the calculations? Is that like exactly how far away?
I think it's like 900, but 1,000 sounds more dramatic. So you're blowing up the drama.
Okay, I like it. I like this because it feels dramatic that you're so far away.
I have moved to Philadelphia while Sarita remains in Chicago.
Sí, te extraño.
In a little bit, I'm going to get into my first impressions on the new city, but right now, because I'm speaking to a Mexican in Chicago, I got to tell you, one thing I've noticed is there are definitely not as many Latinos in Philadelphia as in Chicago.
Really? Huh.
I have heard zero Tejano or banda music blasting in the streets so far.
That is a telltale sign that there are Mexicans surrounding you. Oompa Loompa music.
Absolutely.
Wow, so that's kind of sad.
Yeah, no, it's not the same. It's not what I'm used to. I definitely don't see as many Mexican shops or taco trucks. I think in Chicago there might be like 33% of the city is Latino, and in Philadelphia it's only like 14%.
Whoa.
Because we are 900 to 1,000 miles apart, it probably will sound funky, the audio, but y'all are just going to have to deal with it.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
Y'all are just going to have to deal with it because it's not like I'm in a sound booth at WHYY Philadelphia Public Radio.
I bet you looked that up.
No, I know it because if I was actually there, I'd be too busy hunting around the building looking for Terry Gross from NPR's Fresh Air, just so I could geek out and bask in her presence. Are you familiar with our Lord and Savior of interviewing, Terry Gross from Fresh Air?
No, I mean, I've heard a couple of them, but not enough to like know who she is or that's definitely her thing.
It was not until I moved here that I thought, WHYY, oh my gosh, that's Philadelphia. I could run into this tiny, like when I'm talking tiny, she's got to be like under 5 feet tall.
Aww.
Very tiny woman who is a powerhouse of interviewing.
Tiny house, big voice.
She's fantastic.
I mean,
Exactly.
tiny person, I meant. Not a tiny house.
You've been watching too much HGTV, I could just tell.
God, I love those shows, especially the tiny house ones. I don't know what it is about it. I've always felt comfortable in a teeny tiny little space.
Speaking of the opposite of being comfortable, now that this is episode 13, don't be afraid. Some people are afraid of the number 13 for whatever reason. You know, a few episodes ago, we actually had a game where you had me guess the phobias.
Yep, and I actually wrote it down for number 13 because I was like, this is just perfect. Do you know what it's called? The fear of 13 or that superstition?
I do because I looked it up. Do you?
Excellent. Yes, I did.
Well, then why don't you go ahead and pronounce it then?
Okay. Here it goes. It's a tricky one, and it's like 18 letters long. Triskaidekaphobia. Triskaidekaphobia. How would you say it?
Same thing. Triskaidekaphobia. And I don't know what's up in people's brains that make them scared of a number, but there you have it. It's a thing.
Yeah, there you have it. And
or
if you want to hear that game, because it was awesome, it's in episode 8. All the phobias.
Nice job, historian.
I actually also looked up where the fear and the superstition of number 13 came from. And I didn't do like super deep research because, you know, I have a life. But what I kind of came up with was it's because Judas from like Jesus and stuff, he was the 13th.
From Jesus and stuff?
Yes.
Yes.
He was the 13th to sit at the table, and he was the betrayer of Jesus Christ. So that's where
Traitor. Yeah.
that came from. And I don't know if like it just escalated from there or if more things started happening related to the number 13. But a lot of hotels will skip the 13th floor and just like go to 14. And you don't see a lot of 13 in elevators. Well, obviously because of the floors. I just thought that was really cool.
People need to just fucking get over it, because just because a floor is labeled 14 like doesn't make it actually not the 13th floor. It's just 13 by a different name.
Yeah. I think of it as a really far apart B because you've got the stick and then the little bumps. It's just like a B that was separated in half.
Well, in Asia, the number 4 in a bunch of different languages sounds very close to the word for death. So
Yeah,
they omit the 4th floor.
I totally wrote that note down, and especially in hospitals because it's it sounds like death. Which now I'm curious as to
Chinese,
how they say it.
Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese, and Korean. It's like sa or she, and they're like very similar to each other.
Ooh, yeah. Well, I guess I could kind of see it in a hospital more out of respect, really, than out of superstition. It's like, here, let's go to
I
the
get
death floor.
it. Yeah.
Wouldn't want to visit anyone there.
Do you want to tease what you have in store for me today before I start going off on my rants?
So stay tuned for the game because since Bobby moved so far away and he drove there, I bet he saw a bunch of license plates, and so that's what our game's gonna be about. I'm going to quiz Bobby to see if he knows the slogans for the license plates of each state. Not all of them, obviously. I think I've got. Oh my gosh, I have 13. But
Oh
since
my god, I'm terrified.
the rules of the game are usually we play until Bobby gets bored. If we make it to 13, then cool. If not, then whatever.
So it was about 2 weeks ago that I moved from the Uptown neighborhood in Chicago to Philadelphia.
It feels like years.
I'm sorry. But I'll actually be living in the suburbs across the river in New Jersey. So I'm going to be going from an Uptown girl to a Jersey boy.
Jersey boy.
I'm evolving.
Uptown girl. Mr. Bobby's now a New Jersey boy. No, I ruined it. Take it out.
I'm just going to need to slick my hair back and get like a much more
Yes,
Italian
and roll
name.
up your sleeves, put a little packet of cigarette in there, kind of like the Outsiders, remember? Pony Boy and such. Were they from Jersey?
I don't know. I make references, I don't get them.
Can you do a Jersey accent now?
No, because my New Jersey and my Philadelphia, they sound just like dumb New York. But I did compile a list of things that did not occur to me until after I moved.
Ooh, I want to
You
hear
know,
it. Bring it on.
You get ready for a move, you're thinking about all these things. Some things you don't really consider, like I gotta get new radio stations. I gotta spin that little dial,
Oh,
tuning it until I find a number for the hot pop jams.
yes, you do. Wow. Or I love it when I'm like driving around in a new area, and so I'm hitting the little preset or not the preset, the tuning one to see if it finds just like a station that sounds good. And all of a sudden I'm like, okay, this is a really good song. And then all of a sudden, like 2 songs in, you realize that they're like all about Jesus and stuff.
Well, praise Jesus.
I don't know, that always weirds me out for a little bit. I mean, usually it's really good music, so I don't really necessarily care. But for some reason, it always makes me feel tricked.
You're like, this song was bumping until I found out that it was happy and energetic because I was praising Jesus. Don't trick me into praising Jesus.
Oh man, and I'm no Judas, I love Jesus as well as the next person. It just feels weird when it's on the radio and it's all about. I think it's the intensity of it. Sometimes the people are talking up a whole Jesus storm.
Tricky Christian music.
So what else is on the list of things that you don't think about that you have to like deal with and accustomed to?
Well, when the weather map comes up on the news, in Chicago you have a massive body of water that helps like triangulate your location.
Mm-hmm.
Here, it's just a giant landmass. And so I have a hard time immediately pinpointing my location.
Yeah. Oh my God. I never would have even thought about that.
So I need to know if I'm going to bring an umbrella because it is not always sunny in Philadelphia.
I like that.
And yes, I
Good show.
do hate myself for that. So
It's appropriate, but you had to. I mean, you just had to.
it was right there. Another thing, no more Portillo's.
Oh, that's right. Oh,
Which,
my
for
God.
anyone who does not know, is local Chicago icon of a burger, hot dog, beef sandwich establishment.
Yes.
It's so good.
It is.
They make their
Iconic.
chocolate iconic. They make their chocolate cake with mayo, and it sounds gross, but people will physically jizz their pants if you mention how their chocolate cake. So that's how good it is.
Yes, it is. Yep. But yeah, that cake is moist as fuck. It's delicious.
Well, okay, you can stop. Remember, I moved away, so I don't need to be reminded how much I'm going to be missing it. Didn't think about that until after I moved here. Another thing, Eastern Standard Time for TV and sports. Like, Survivor's now going to come on at 8 p.m. What do I do during that 7 p.m. hour? Like,
Ooh.
eat dinner at the dining table with a family and have a conversation? The hell is that about?
That's so backwards. That's centuries old. What are you, a farmer?
And now NFL games are going to end at like 11 or 11:30 on a Sunday night. I need my Betty Bye time.
Bobby gets tired.
Maybe the weirdest thing that I didn't think about until after I moved is that there's going to be no more tornado siren testings.
Wait, what?
Well, the Midwest and Chicago and Illinois is in Tornado Valley.
We are?
Adoy.
Oh my God, you don't hear adoy very often these days. Valley or Alley? Well, I've heard of Alley, but maybe Valley's a whole different one.
You're right.
And we're in it? I mean, well, I'm in it, Chicago?
I mean, if you look at a map of tornado activity, like the Midwest and Illinois is part of it. You know, in Tornado Alley, the first Tuesday of the month at 10 a.m., all the towns and counties set off their tornado sirens to test them.
Yeah. I always know when it's Tuesday at 10 o'clock or 10:30.
Yeah, that is not a thing around the country because the likelihood of tornadoes happening there is just not as prevalent.
Wow. Of all the things you've listed so far, this is the one that's just like so bizarre. I can't imagine my Tuesdays without an alarm going off. Town-wide.
Well, I get that. And I know it's a sign of, impending doom and sometimes death, but I actually really like the sound of the sirens. It's it's so fucking nerdy, but I remember one very late night when I was unemployed between TV shows. I spent like an hour listening to tornado sirens on YouTube.
Oh, Bobby. That is
There's
the nerdiest thing you have mentioned yet.
There's
Unbelievable.
different ones, and I appreciate
Oh my God.
Good siren.
Different variations and tones.
Exactly, and then they wind up, and then they wind down. I don't know, I can't explain it.
I can't believe you did that. Oh my goodness.
So those were all dumb things I didn't think about until after I moved here. And sure, there's some things like having to report income from 2 different states on my taxes, but that's lame and a bummer, and so I will go no further in discussing it.
Yeah, that's.
I'll deal with it when the time comes.
Yeah, you've got
which
about
is the
half a
weekend
year.
before taxes are due.
Yep. So you know how the Midwest has the ope, like ope, like
Yes.
you bump into someone, you're like ope. Have you noticed anything like that in Jersey or Philadelphia?
No, the only bit of different language I've noticed so far is that they pronounce water as wooder, like WOODR, like more wood. It's wooder.
More wood. It needs to be wooder. Wooder?
The first night here, the waitress asked us if we wanted wooders, and it took everything I had not to have like a weirdo massive grin on my face, because I'm like, I'm welcomed, I am here. I have some other first impressions if you'd like to hear them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I like
And
Hampton
some things
Bays.
are Pennsylvania, some things are New Jersey because I'm bi-stately. I go back and forth. No big deal. It's 2019. Who cares?
You're what is it? You're equal opportunity traveler.
Yeah, I'll just go anywhere. Pennsylvania has weird alcohol rules, like you can't buy beer and hard liquor in the same place.
Huh?
So they've got like government monopoly stores that can sell spirits, but they don't sell beer. And then beer dis- beer distributors cannot sell wine or spirits. So you got to go to multiple places. Here's another thing I've noticed, and if you live in Jersey, it's probably something you don't think about, but everywhere else it's incredibly weird. You can't pump your own gas in New Jersey.
Oh, like in Mexico. I've always found that so weird and uncomfortable.
That blew my mind. Like, it's not that hard. Just let me do it myself. 49 other states
Exactly.
let you. Like, the person's standing out in the elements. Do I have to tip them? Are they making minimum wage? I have no idea.
Oh my gosh, what do they do in the winter? Because I mean, it still gets pretty darn cold in New Jersey, doesn't it?
They just have to fucking deal with it while I sit lazily in my car and be like, yeah, fill her up. I've only been here 2 weeks, so the majority of my topics are walking and driving around related. So another one is
Hmm.
the fact that because Philadelphia is so old and it didn't get burned down and rebuilt like Chicago, the streets are narrow. So there are a ton
Oh,
of
like the old
one-way
timey
streets.
ones. Oh wow.
So I'll need to rely heavily on GPS at the moment until I know my way around. But
Yeah.
even more so in New Jersey because in so many places there's like left turns are just not a thing. Instead of a standard left turn being made from like the left lane and sometimes backing up all the traffic,
Uh huh.
left turn lane uses a ramp on the right side of the road. Like there's a sign that says all turns from right lane, which doesn't make much sense, but it's called a jug handle. And the person veers off the main road to the right, and then they'll
Yes.
make a left just to the right of the main intersection. They'll make a left onto that cross street and then pass like straight through that intersection to head like the direction that they would have been going if they had made a left turn.
Wow. So they're crossing like in front.
They would pick up that cross street light. It's so hard to
Oh. Ho, ho,
explain
ho.
unless you like look at a map on Google or like to live it. But basically, if you're going north, instead of being able to turn west at that intersection, you veer off to the right, get into that east west street, and wait for that light to let you go. So then you could pass through that intersection to go west or make a left and then head start south like you made a U-turn. It's so confusing. I'm going to need so much
Okay.
GPS. It's insane because it's it's a very roundabout way to make a left that has fucked me over a few times already. Maybe it's because it's not as dangerous. I don't know.
Whoa, that's bizarre. I'd be so nervous to drive out there.
So I'll need a GPS so hard for probably a year before I get my bearings because I'm
Whoa.
currently fucked at the moment. Speaking of driving, the if the roads aren't bad enough, the drivers, and I know everyone complains about like enter your city name here. They have some of the worst drivers ever. So I'd love to hear your what the fuck is this person doing driving story because literally on the first day we almost got ran into. I am not being dramatic or hyperbolic when I say we had to have been literally centimeters away from running into this dude. It was a
Ooh.
3-lane road. We were in the left going straight. The guy in the middle lane tried to turn in front of us to go left.
Oh
Slam on the brakes,
shit.
ABS kicks in. Dude in a black
Oh.
SUV. Like, I don't even know if he knows how fucking close he got to us. And what happens? There was like zero fucking reaction from him. No, my bad. No, like hand out the window, like sorry. So he just
Oh my god.
continues in the direction we were headed, and then speeds ahead and turns left at the next block. Like fucking dickhead of a dude.
Wow. Wow. Oh god, you're so lucky you didn't crash cuz even if like no one was hurt, it's still so much work to deal with all that stuff. And you don't want that when you're just like new in a city and hence on top of that have to deal with paperwork and police reports and all that.
Literally on the first day. And from that, I knew that my auto insurance was going to skyrocket from that. Also, I have not seen a single red light camera in Philadelphia, and it shows because every day I see people running red lights.
Bless their
Like,
heart, though.
You hate red light cameras when you have to deal with
do.
them because you might get burned by them. But without them, it's like really dangerous. It's to the point where if I'm walking around the city, I will wait like 2 to 3 seconds after the signal says you can walk to see if the coast is clear because it's so prevalent that I'll see a car speed through. This is my last driving related thing. And then I promise, I'm done. First of all, I'm done complaining. And then I'm done talking about the city, the new city.
Well, I mean, it all applied because the game's about driver's license plates.
Good point. So here's my last one. I have never seen so many meter maids or parking enforcement agents in my entire fucking life. It's like 5% of the city. They're all just meter maids walking around. I can't walk down the street without seeing an envelope tucked underneath a windshield wiper of a car.
Oh, it's probably how the city makes its main income.
and actually, yeah. And apparently there's no tax on food at grocery stores in Pennsylvania. And so I think they make up for it in parking tickets. So those are my first impressions and things about moving. I'm sure once I start actually living life here, I'll learn more about the idiosyncrasies of the area.
Okay.
Segue into the game.
All right. So the game is I'm going to give you the state and I'll give you 3 to 4 choices and you have to tell me which is the correct slogan for the license plates.
Now, when you say license plate, are you talking about this is the official state motto that's on a license plate?
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Yep. There's a game that people play on road trips, right? Where it's called a license plate game. Oh, no, wait. No, that's just if you spy, like, a license plate, like, from New Jersey or Iowa.
Hawaii. It's got a rainbow on it.
How'd you get your car over here? A ferry, probably, or a boat of some sort.
Cars made in Hawaii are like those boats that you can drive. Like at the Wisconsin...
No, they're not.
At Wisconsin Dells, they're ducks. They're half boat, half car.
The ducks? I don't believe you. I know I'm gullible, but that can't be true.
Well, no,
Is
because if it's a 5-hour flight from LA to Hawaii, how long are you going to be driving in the fucking middle of the Pacific in your little car boat?
Okay. Okay, good. I didn't believe you, so I'm not that stupid. Now who's the imbecile?
So we've got 13 mottos, and I just have to guess the state. All right, I'm ready.
No. I'm giving you the state, and you have to guess between the slogans or mottos. You have to tell me which one's correct.
Okay, got it. The exact opposite of what I thought. You give me the state. I gotta guess the motto. All right.
It goes to show how well I explain things.
You know what? Goes to show how
What?
little I listen, actually.
All right, first state. Pennsylvania. Is it Keystone State?
Yes.
You've got a friend in? Or Keystone Light?
I already said yes to Keystone State.
Okay. Oh, okay. And you are correct. But I expected you to get that one right because you are there a lot now. Texas. Is it Cowboy Territory, the Lone Star State, or Don't Mess with Texas?
I know for sure this is Lone Star State.
Okay, and how do you know for sure? You sound very confident.
I mean, there's a lone star on their flag.
There is. But you hear Don't Mess with Texas so much, they have it on t-shirts all the time.
I do know that was a slogan for people to stop littering.
Really?
Yeah, they were like, don't mess with Texas by throwing your shit and littering everywhere. And then people adapted it to whatever reason they want. Like, don't mess with me, don't mess with my guns. When I think originally it was like, don't destroy Texas with your garbage and cigarette butts.
Okay, I like that. I thought I was going to get you with the Cowboy Territory, though, because, Texas Cowboys. So, all right. I forget who I'm dealing with. You're such a science-y know-it-all. All right. Next one is Maine. Is it vacation spirit,
No.
scenic land,
No.
scenic, or vacation land?
Vacation land.
God damn it.
And the only reason I know this is because there's a show on HGTV or DIY Network called Maine Cabin Masters, and
Uh-huh.
they, renovate cabins, and they're like in the territory called Vacation Land. Like everyone's got a cabin up there, so I know for a fact it's Vacation
Oh,
Land.
okay. I mean, I thought that one was going to be a little bit risky since you were kind of recently in Maine, but I was like, I doubt that he was paying attention to the license plates. So, 'cause with all
Oh,
the pretty foliage.
I'm a leaf peeper
Uh,
and a license peeper.
a what peeper?
Leaf peeper. That's what they call the nerds who go and watch leaves change colors in forests.
Oh, that's so cute. Leaf peeper. I would be an every year leaf peeper if I got myself organized to go when they're, peep perfect. I'm so proud of myself for that one. All right. Alabama. Here are your choices: Sweet Molasses, Heart of Dixie, Sweet Home.
Heart of Dixie.
Oh my god, this wasn't hard at all for you. What was I thinking? Delaware. Is it the first state, perfect in every way, or heritage state?
The first state.
Okay, how do you even know this?
Well,
You're correct, by the way.
I didn't really realize this before I looked on a map where I'm going to be living. Delaware's really close to where I live. I could probably be there in an hour.
Oh, that's really pretty close. But still, how do you know that? Like, there's not a lot of cars from Delaware.
I don't think I've ever seen a Delaware license plate, but I just know some state mottos because I had recently in my apartment, I had one of those placemats that children use.
Oh my
That
god, that's
that
right.
it had all the flags, all of the different states' bird, the state flower, the state tree, the state motto.
Oh my god, this is the biggest mistake I have made so far in games.
Mm-hmm. Next question.
Iowa. Fields of gold, the field state, the corn state.
Um, the corn state. That's so basic, and Nebraska is called Corn Huskers. So I am gonna go with Fields of Gold.
Oh my god, this is the first point for me. Yay. It's the corn state.
Jesus Christ, Iowa. You're so fucking boring. You just call yourself the corn state? Shame on you.
All right, Maryland. Is the motto the silver state, drive safely, or drive carefully?
Well, two of those are definitely related to driving, so I can't imagine that their state motto is driving because Maryland is an old state and they used to have a fucking horse and buggy. So, Silver State?
You are incorrect, sir. It is drive carefully. I couldn't believe that one. I could not believe it.
Yeah, I fucking think so. That sounds like bullshit.
You call BS on that one?
Yeah, because one state you have called the corn state and the other just says drive what carefully?
Yeah, drive carefully. That's their license plate motto.
See, now we go back to, is it the state motto or the what is on the license plate?
I looked up what was on the license plate.
Oh, okay. I was thinking, oh, okay. So I was thinking state nicknames, not necessarily what slogans they have on their license plate. I was thinking state nicknames. So I guess it just so happens that some state nicknames and what they put on their license plate matches up. I see. Okay.
Because when I looked up some of the, like the state mottos, it was like some of them were in Latin. So I was like, that's not what I've seen on license plates.
All right. So clarifying what is on the license plate is not necessarily going to be state motto. I don't know why I keep saying state motto. I don't mean that. I mean state nickname.
Correctamundo.
It's just so
Yes.
happened that the ones I've gotten correct so far overlap, and that's why
They
I knew
overlapped.
them.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. That's
Got it.
probably why, like, you were thrown off with the Iowa and Maryland, because, I mean, the corn state does not sound like a proper, state motto. Okay. So, New Jersey. Botanic State, Garden State, Broad State.
That for sure I know is Garden State.
Is it because of the movie?
Yep, I do know that from the movie and just common knowledge now that I'm going to be living here.
Because you're a Jersey boy now.
I'm a Jersey boy.
North Dakota. Is it Peace Garden State, Discover the Spirit, or First for Independence?
I think North Dakota, on their license plate, their slogan is the middle one, dealing with the spirit.
Discover the Spirit?
Yes.
Well, you are right. And that was a trick question because the first one is also right. Those were both on there. So I feel like they have two different slogans. Peace Garden and Discover the Spirit.
Fantastic. I had such a good
Alright.
chance of getting that correct then.
Yes, you did. I'm glad you did. Ohio. Seatbelts fastened? Question mark. The heart of it all? Exclamation point. Or birth of aviation?
Birth of aviation.
That was another trick question because they are all correct.
I was going to say the middle one sounded like it also could have been true. I was going to guess that until I heard of birth of aviation, and then I definitely remember seeing that on a license plate.
All right, cool. Wisconsin. Great Lakes State, America's Dairyland, or America's Farmland?
Dairyland.
Ah, thought I'd trick you on that one.
No, I mean,
Good grief.
Green Bay Packers, their fans are known as cheeseheads, and my mom was born in Wisconsin.
Yeah. I mean, but where do you get cheese from? From cows that live on the farm. Farmland. Thus, farmland. Too friggin' good at this.
Well, you've also picked states that I've seen and I live around and I live in for the most part, and so
Yeah.
that's been much easier.
That's true. Okay, so for these last two ones, I'm gonna change it up, and I'm gonna give you the license plate slogan, and you have to tell me the state.
Okay, let's do it.
Pacific Wonderland.
Well, it can either be California, Oregon, Washington. I think it's between those three. Well, I'm mixing up state mottos again because Alaska's frontier, the last frontier. Hawaii is the Aloha State.
Oh yeah, see, I made a huge mistake in doing this game. You just rattled off something, I'd be like, ah.
Pacific Wonderland?
Yes, Pacific Wonderland. What state is it?
I think you will find that on the license plate of Washington.
Oh, you were so close.
Is it Oregon?
It's Oregon.
Fuck, I should have
Yep.
said that. I changed it at the last minute. Oh well.
See, and you say Oregon, and I say Oregon.
All I know is that I don't think it's Oregon.
Okay, we agree there. It's not Oregon. All right, cool. Last one. Here's the license plate motto, or license plate slogan, I should say. And you have to tell me the state. It's called the Volunteer State.
That is Tennessee.
Ooh, that was quick. You didn't even have to think about that. And you are correct.
And I know that because Tennessee,
You volunteered a lot in college?
I did do that, but I think the mascot for University of Tennessee, they're called the Volunteers, also known as the Vols.
What? That is so lame. And how do you know all this random stuff?
I don't know. I'm
Well-
just really fucking smart. And Tennessee is
It's a
just...
bummer you don't like telling people about it, though,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
smart you are.
And Tennessee is just known as the volunteer state, so...
I did not know that. And I had some good ones because, Tennessee people, associate mainly Nashville or Memphis to it with, music and all that. So my options were Sounds Good to Me, Land of Enchantment, and Volunteer State.
Land of Enchantment actually sounds really good. Is that the name of a different state?
It is. Can you guess which state?
Land of Enrichment.
No, Land of Enchantment.
Oh, I don't know why I said enrichment. Enchant. Oh, I enchanted.
Enchantment.
New Mexico.
Correct. Mundo.
I will say
I thought you were totally gonna say New Hampshire.
Oh, hell no, because when I went to New Mexico, White Sands National Park was there, and that was fucking trippy. Just a bunch of super white sand dunes, and I loved it, and it seemed otherworldly. And then also in New Mexico was Carlsbad Caverns, which was a huge fucking cave, and it was also super dope. So it was very enchanted.
What was the name of that cave?
Carlsbad Caverns.
Carlsbad Caverns. Well, that sounds cool
And
kind of like ominous.
I think it was really close to the Mexican border, I think.
Yeah. It's the, close to old Mexico.
Exactly. The Mexico.
The very one.
So let's see. I got 10 points out of 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
Although it honestly would have been so cool if you'd gotten 13 right, because it's the number of our episode and because we talked about the triskaidekaphobia.
I agree. And whose fault is that you tried to trick me and not let me get all 13 for 13?
Oh, I didn't trick you, son.
Well, thank you for that game.
So tell us how you did on the game if you played along. Follow us on social media. We have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and it's all BS with BS Podcast.
Thanks to last episode where our friend and guest Nicole told us that BS stood for Big Supporter. So if you want to become a BSer...
Yes, become a BSer. Be a BSer.
Become a BSer. Be a BSer. Follow us at BS with BS Podcast. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Now that's been some BS.